Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. In the summaries, organizers of the End Bad Governance protest have issued a 17-point ultimatum to the federal government ahead of their planned demonstrations on October 1st, 2024. The demands include the immediate and unconditional release of detained protesters, the unfreezing of their assets, and compensation for the distress and hardships endured during peaceful demonstrations. The movement also calls for the removal and prosecution of government officials accused for suppressing protests and violating human rights. One of the organizers, Omoyele Sowore, released a list on Tuesday that seeks the scrapping of the 1999 Constitution, its replacement with a people-made constitution, and the restructuring of Nigeria to accommodate its diversity. Other demands include paying Nigerian workers a wage of no less than 250,000 naira monthly, invest heavily in education, and provide Nigerian students with grants, not loans. Aggressively pursue free and compulsory education for Nigerian children. Released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and demilitarize the Southeast. All NSAS and political detainees must also be released and compensated, amongst other demands. Experts have condemned the lingering insecurity in the Southeast region of the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program, Open Conversations, a development expert, Chizi Nyoma Sila, said the persistent insecurity in the southeastern region has attracted the federal government's intervention and not on any other reasons whatsoever.
Again, we have also given them the opportunity to so do. We have the ESN, we have the we have this we have all manner of people, especially in that Olu. And let me tell you something. I don't know why they are targeting Imo State. Because you see, Imo State, especially the Owerri, used to be a place all of us want to, because it's peaceful, it is calm, it is clean. But again, we are also giving them the opportunity to so do. We have the ES.
Chizi also stressed the need for IPOB agitators to be more organized in their modus operandi.
We are not organized because whether you like it or we are former Eastern states, well, all of us are from here. So we are not even organized. In our own instance, have you even come to ask us whether we even be members of the Biafra or want to go? What is it that they have shown us that can allay our fears that when we come together we will not do it?
We will succeed.
We will succeed. Or somebody is just doing.
This is coming after the indigenous people of Biafra have raised their alarm over what is called the secret and indiscriminate elimination of Igbo youth, particularly in Olu, in Imo State. Still in the southeast, Anambra government on Tuesday announced the immediate closure of upcoming Star International School at Ifite Road, Akwa, over the alleged bullying of a 7-year-old pupil. The State Commissioner of Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma-Ude, announced in Akwa that the government responded to reports that the pupil's classmates allegedly broke her leg. Chuma-Ude said when the school proprietor was invited for questioning, it was discovered that the school was not approved to operate. The pupil was bullied by her classmates, which caused her to break her leg, and the matter was reported to the ministry. The school proprietor, Mr. Okechukwu Choma, was invited for questioning, and he admitted that the offense was committed in his school. It was also discovered the school was not approved by the government. Governor Chukwuma Soludo, however, directed that the school be sealed before 2 p.m. today. This is because the continued existence of such illegal schools has been causing mayhem to children in the state, she said. Chukwuma wants that proprietors of illegal schools would be handed over to law enforcement agents for contravening the laws of the state. Also urged parents to desist from sending their children and wards to unquote schools. The state government, says Governor Sheriff Obuvere, did not borrow any money since the inception of the state's current administration. A communique signed by the State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Osoza, in Warri states, the state government has serious concern over some reports on online media platforms alleging that Governor Sheriff Obuvere borrowed the sum of 40 billion naira soon after assuming office. The statement also acknowledged that 4 billion naira debt profile inherited by Sovereign administration, adding that as a prudent manager, he has done the right thing by adhering to the terms of repayment as specified in the loan agreement. Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has promised to reconstruct the washed-away bridges and roads in the Suru and Mayama local government areas of the state. The governor made the pledge on Tuesday while inspecting the washed-away bridge along the Suru-Kawara-Dingari road and some rice farms destroyed by the flood in Suru local government on Tuesday. He reiterated the readiness of his administration to extend hands of fellowship to all manner of people across the state. Idris said the state government would rehabilitate the bridges and construct the roads. This present administration would also continue to assist the farmers in effective food production in the state. He assured that his administration would do everything possible to ensure security in the state. Also speaking, a member of the State House of Assembly representing Suru constituency, Honorable Faruku Mai Sudan, lauded the governor for his efforts in assisting farmers with their needed facilities. Do not forget we are open for advert placements, bookings and commercials. You can connect with us and watch us on all ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly known as Twitter, Atlantic TV/net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Many filling stations operated by independent oil marketers have now fixed the pump price for premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, at between 900 and 1,000 naira per litre. Owners of these stations seem not to care about the cost of the product at retail outlets operated by the Nigerian National Petrol Company. Petrol prices at NNPC stations range from 568 to 617 per litre. This often leads to queues at the stations. As Nigerians raise concerns about the high cost of commodity by independent petrol dealers, the federal government has also vowed to shut down filling stations that will be caught dispensing PMS at exorbitant rates. It declared this through the midstream and downstream Nigerian Petroleum Regulatory Authority, stressing that it was not in the interest of Nigerians for marketers to profiteer. Oil marketers claim that they are day and it is not 850 naira per litre. Our field agent at the depot give us a different figure, he said. Well told that some filling stations operated by independent marketers in Lagos and many other states dispense their products for as high as 900 naira and 1,000 naira per litre. The official said such outlets would be brought to book if apprehended. If we get these outlets, all we do is to try and shut them down, because NNPC is the company that brings in the products and they tell us how much they sell as their ex-depot prices to off-takers, and we sit down together and work out the margins, and there is no way it should be that high, NAITA declared. The NMDPRA official further noted that there was no way the agency would reconcile the high cost of petrol sold by independent marketers. Do you have these stations displaying the high prices in their pumps? NAITA asked. A correspondent responded in the affirmative, and the regulatory agency official declared once again, once we get these outlets, we are going to shut them down. NNPC tells us how much they sell, and there is no way the pump prices should be higher than that. We don't expect it to be higher than 650 naira per litre. The NMDPRA spokesperson warned marketers involved in profiteering to desist from such acts, stressing that the agency would not fold its hands and allow operators to cheat Nigerians. Findings by our correspondents show that marketers are making more profits as the fuel crisis rockets the country has refused to end. Reliably gathered that report that owners of filling stations have seized the opportunity to add to their margins as regulators could not enforce any particular price due to the low supply from the depots sell to independent marketers who could not get the product directly from the NMPC at about 570 naira per litre, like the major marketers. In return, the independent marketers sell a litre of petrol to motorists and other Nigerians at prices ranging from 850 naira to 900 naira or even 1,000 naira in some remote areas. He said, that is why no marketer is complaining of low margins again. This is the time for them to make money. The only issue is that getting the product is not that easy. The price is high because the supply is low. Could only get half of whatever metric tons they bid for. A depot operator said though the situation had improved a bit, the supply is still far below what is required to ease off the queues and make the product available for all Nigerians. Another source hinted that the federal government is now prioritizing the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to reduce the long queues to filling stations. He said, quoting him, "The queue is easing up a bit in Abuja. Almost 70% of the trucks are going to Abuja. The directive is that they should go to Abuja," the depot operator confided in the reporter. Contrary to claims that the marketers might be hoarding fuel, the manager of the filling station in Ogun State, who identified himself simply as Adeyanju, said no one hoards fuel because it will continue to dry up. The way PMS is, if you put 33,000 litres in a tank, if you hoard it for too long, by the time you want to haulage it, it may not be more than 31,000 or 32,000 litres. It will be evaporating. No tank operator will ever hoard fuel, not even at this time when people are making money, the manager disclosed. He added that no miracle could clear off the queues in the new week. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Government and Public Service Report on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu will depart for Beijing, China in the first week of September, during which he will sign several MOUs with President Xi Jinping, his Chinese counterpart. The president's spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale said this while briefing State House correspondents on Tuesday. He said the president will also visit two major Chinese corporations, Huawei Technologies, as well as China Railway and Construction Corporation, CRCC. He said, this is with a view to achieve one of Mr. President's top agenda items, which is the completion of the Ibadan to Abuja segment of the Lagos-Kano high-speed rail line. Mr. Ngelale said. Thereafter, he said the president will meet with chief executives, officers of 10 major Chinese corporations with assets under management totaling over $3 trillion across multiple sectors of the economy. The sectors include information and communications technology, oil and gas, aluminum production, harbor construction, dredging services, financial services, and satellite technology. Mr. Ngelale said the series of meetings and activities would benefit the Nigerian economy and people in the immediate and in future. The MOUs will involve agreements in deepening cooperation in green economy, agriculture, satellite technology development, media enterprise development, and promotion of these other operations, as well as blue economic development and national planning cooperation. Quoting him, he said, this is going to be part of a broader engagement with the two heads of states that will discuss matters of mutual interest across not just the economy, but also on issues of national, regional, and international security. Said the spokesman, according to him, the president will thereafter attend the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation FOCAC Summit, where several African heads of state will engage with Chinese leaders on various important matters. He said President Tinubu would make a presentation on behalf of the region in his capacity as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. He said Mr. Tinubu will proceed to the high-level peace and security plenary, where he would further make a presentation on peace and security in the region and in Africa, according to him. The engagement is expected to yield tangible, immediate, and future dividends for the Nigerian economy and for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Quoting him, he said, "The president will place premium on deliverables, ensuring that this is not a talk show, but will yield results for our people, justifying any expenditure that is made during the course of the trip," said Mr. Ngelale. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has called for legislation to enforce stiffer laws and punishments for perpetrators of rape, sexual abuse, amongst other gender-based violence. She stated this at the first Gender and Social Norms Summit organized by the United Nations Population Fund in collaboration with the Office of the First Lady. In a statement signed by the Senior Special Advisor on Media and to the First Lady, Busola Kukoyi, on Tuesday, Oluremi Tinubu of course, decried the increased spate of rape cases and gender-based violence, which she described as alarming. She called on all security agencies, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Chairman of the National Assembly to promulgate laws to ensure no perpetrators went scot-free. Quoting her, she said, "There must be improved legislation to give and enforce appropriate punishments to perpetrators of rape. The streets. We have to speak not only firm and tough, but act accordingly. Every single day we hear about rape cases. Even our babies are violated. Do we allow this trend to continue, or do we look the other way? This is why I'm calling on the law enforcement agencies, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Chairman of the National Assembly, who is the Senate President, to appropriate and enforce stiffer laws and punishments for perpetrators of rape, sexual abuse, and other forms of gender-based violence. No guilty party should be allowed to roam free on the streets looking for the next victim," she stated. The First Lady said the summit provided a common platform for stakeholders, including wives of state governors, to create awareness, exchange lessons, and learn and promote effective strategies for preventing and responding to GBV and other harmful practices. According to the statement, the Minister for Education, Attorney General, and Minister of Justice, Women Affairs, and Youth were in support of ramping up awareness and ensuring that perpetrators do not go unpunished. She said, they noted that the improved education on the part of the girl child, youth improvement, and women empowerment, amongst others, there would be a significant reduction, if not total eradication, of these harmful practices. The UNFPA Gender FGM analyst Karimgu Bugundu, while presenting the works of the UNFPA in Nigeria based on situational analysis, pointed out that nearly 1 in 3 Nigerian women have experienced some form of gender-based violence, including women with disabilities who are more susceptible and vulnerable to these attacks. She said the prevalence of harmful practices such as female genital mutilation and child marriage, which is in some cases leads to vesco-vaginal fistula and other forms of violence against women and girls, remain unacceptably high, the statement read. In a different story, Eco Electricity Distribution Company, EKEDC, has alleged the Army, police, and other customers have refused to pay its outstanding debt of 144 billion naira. Its acting managing director, Ms. Rekiat Momo, disclosed this to the House Representatives Committee on Privatization and Commercialization, which visited the company in Lagos in an oversight function on Monday. Bureau of the Public Enterprises, Head of Public Relations and Communications, Amina Othman, announced this in a statement. The firm said the company was owed 144 billion naira by MDAs in its area of operation, and that the Nigerian military and Nigerian police force and other state government agencies have refused to pay up their debts, thus posing a challenge for the DISCO. BP said Momo gave a brilliant scorecard of the company and noted that the company is the only DISCO in the country that has reduced its HTC and C losses ratio to the barest minimum despite the challenges in the power sector. She said EKEDC had reduced the HTC and C losses ratio from 35% in 2023 to 15.1% in 2024, and that the company has over 700,000 of its customers metered. Momo added the DISCO was working out modalities in collaboration with the Federal Government Distribution Sector Recovery Program, DISTREP, to procure an additional 92,000 meters for its customers. The DISCO boss stated that the company had made significant improvements in technology provision of meters and transformers, even as she revealed that EKEDC is the only DISCO that fulfills its monthly obligations remittance to the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading, NBET company. Analyst has called on both the state and federal government to intervene on the rescue of Dr. Govt&Popola. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program, Atlantic Blowout, a social-political analyst, Frank Awaji, said the planned indefinite strike by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors will go a long way to quicken Nigerians' government's response over the matter.
To wake up to fight for that woman is to withdraw the services. But the moment I saw Nigerians also who are not feeling that somebody is in the hand is like it was reading den of kidnappers. A den is for lion. Oh, we know that. That's my little story. A den is for lion. And now somebody is in the den of
On his part, Loveday Dandy taxed the government on the need for appropriate sanctions against criminal activities in the country.
I don't know if they should also bring out their own aspects and then keep them in area where they should now face the torture. The same torture they are making somebody go through in whatever they describe as den. Now, if they are caught and taken to correctional centers, so should you also, this is also another aspect of it, should you also start?
This is coming as the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors have embarked on a 7-day warning strike over the abduction of their colleague after Dr. Govt&Popola has been in kidnappers' den for 8 months. The president of NARD, Dr. Dele Abdullahi, announced the strike during a recent virtual meeting of the National Executive Council. Nigerian government has received a donation of 10,000 doses of Jynneos, an anti-pox vaccine, from the United States government. The U.S. government's Food and Drug Administration approved the vaccine to prevent smallpox and monkeypox on 18-year-olds and older who are at risk of the infection. On Tuesday, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, handed over the vaccine donation to Muyi Aina, the executive director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA. At the event, which took place at the NPHCDA headquarters in Abuja, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Daju Kachilom, representing the Minister Mohammed Pate, expressed gratitude to the U.S. government for the donation. Ms. Kachilom reiterated the federal government's commitment to enhancing the well-being of Nigerians. She said, "This is the spirit of cooperation and collaboration through the years, and this vaccine will be of great help to us." The Federal Ministry of Health understands the importance of having healthy rations, a healthy nation, so that all policies that we implement and the collaborations are focused on ensuring our citizens' health, he said. He also hailed the developmental partners, including USAID, PEPFAR, WHO, which is the World Health Organization, and UNICEF, for their relentless efforts in fighting the outbreak. He said, "We all recognize the size of our population, and we must ensure that we address every disease, especially those that pose public health concerns. On this note, I would like to extend our gratitude," he said. Monkeypox, formerly now called Mpox, is a rare infectious disease spread through contact with affected animals or people. Symptoms could include fever, headache, muscle aches, and a rash. It is usually self-limiting but can lead to severe complications. Nigeria has recorded 40 confirmed and 830 suspected monkeypox cases across 33 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. No deaths from monkeypox has been recorded in Nigeria, Mr. Aina said, and the distribution plan for the vaccine doses received from the U.S. government would prioritize high-risk individuals, including frontline health workers and residents of states with highest number of cases, primarily in the southern region. He said, "We believe our frontline health workers are at particular risk. We are also going to prioritize states that have had the highest number of cases, many of them that are in the south. But of course, we are going to have to work with the states to develop state-specific plans, to make sure that the vaccines is appropriately deployed," he said. MPHCDA head confirmed that the vaccination program would commence immediately with micro-planning and implementation engagement with states. Mr. Mills emphasized the significance of health as a key priority for the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. He said the vaccines would bolster Nigeria's efforts to combat the monkeypox outbreak, which has been designated